So this video is all about the pets I've owned. So I've owned quite a few pets over the years. Some of them have been, some of the stories have been sweet. Well, some of the pets have some sweet and funny stories attached to them. Oh, I can hear a cow outside. Oh well. So I just thought I'd create a video on all the different animals I've owned. I'll start at the beginning, as per. So fish, specifically goldfish. I think that would be the first animal I owned. Well, my sister owned. I think I was more into birds. I think it had to do with it Tweety Bird from Looney Tunes. I wanted my own yellow bird. I never got one, unfortunately. Sad, but oh well. I think we also won a goldfish from the local fair one year. Now, this fair came to town, and then, unfortunately, it never came again, which was again sad. I remember the whole Sleepy Town was buzzing when the idea of this fair was coming to town, including my school. Like, all the students were sort of talking to each other. Are you going to the fair? Are you going to the fair tonight? So yeah, the sort of Sleepy Town was buzzing. When the flies were all over the place on lampposts and everything, and there was a whole sort of almost like Victorian-esque fair kind of vibe going on. But anyway, the fair never came back. I don't know why. Maybe it just never made enough money in my hometown. Who knows? But anyway, speaking of fish though, I have owned a large aquarium. That was cool. It was in my living room, and it was so, I don't know, calming, to just watch the fish swim around. It was quite nice. Next, I have to talk about the rabbits. So many rabbits I've owned. So many. We were actually tricked because my mother was told that the rabbits that we got were the same sex. They weren't. Beckham was actually a boy and Scooby was a girl. And they must have got their whole, bow chicka wow wow on. Because next thing we know, Scooby's pregnant. With all these cute little baby rabbits. During that time, my family would come round and name some of them. In fact, the whole street would just walk into the house and garden and feed them and play with them. It was a sweet time. Yeah, sweet time indeed. Good times. Next, I think dogs. So the first dog was what we thought was a stray. So we took it in, but it turned out to actually be a runaway. So we took it for a walk one day. And then on that walk, a person sort of out of the crowd said, oh, that dog was actually theirs, or was related to was actually owned by one of their family members. I think it was one of their aunties. And I was a kid at this point, so I was heartbroken, when we had to give the dog back to its rightful owner. I remember holding on to the food we had bought for it in the kitchen and just bawling like a baby. As I said, I was a kid, and kids don't really have, emotional filters. I think we called the dog Molly. Yeah, I think it was Molly we named that dog, but as I said, we unfortunately had to give it back. The next dog, though, was truly a stray. So this dog was left by his previous owners, so we took him in. He was amazing, jet black, a beautiful white stripe on his chest, and amazingly flappy ears. I think it was a cross between a Labrador and a Cocker Spaniel. Horrible on a lead, since he'd been a stray for a bit, but he brought home so much joy, I remember. I remember one story, we were all sat in the living room, and we got this waft of the most foul-smelling scent I think I've ever smelled. It was like someone had died. We look around, and the dog was just looking at us, all with his sort of big, beautiful, sorrowful brown eyes, as he farted again, before walking away, like a boss, and just left us all with it. Just left us all with it. It was disgustingly hilarious. One of my best memories of him. We called him Ben. Unfortunately, he passed away years ago now, due to seizures and old age. But a wonderful companion. And as I say, that one time where he just farted like a boss and just left it hanging in the air for us to deal with, was amazing. But anyway, next, birds. So. Yeah, birds. So I never got, as I said in early in the story, I never got my yellow Tweety bird. But the family has owned finches, cockatoos or cockatiels, budgies. They were so chirpy, I remember, but bitey. Next, there was a snake called Car. This was owned not really by the family, but like an ex-partner of my mother. He'd been told that the snake had been recently fed, so it didn't need it. So my mother's ex-boyfriend had been told that the snake had been recently fed, so he didn't need to feed it for like a few days. Well, on the day that my mother's ex-partner goes to feed the snake, it was like unfortunately deceased. Like to this day, I have no idea whether the previous owners like lied, or the snake died of some other cause. But that was a sad day when we went to feed, this innocent snake, and it was deceased. Anyway, next, I've owned a ferret at one point. Now this story starts with a friend. It was a friend that convinced me that a ferret was a cool pet to have. So little did I know. Little did I know what I really think. Little did I know what I really think was going on. Now looking back, was that my friend knew you couldn't give ferrets to like local animal shelters. They have to go to special shelters, I think, ferrets. So he convinced me to take it. I think he must have rang up wanting to get rid of it. He couldn't get rid of it, so pawned it off on me. I did take it. Then we realised it was socialised for hunting, most likely, as it like dashed at everything and was attacking everything that moved, including human hands. We still cared for it though, when we had it, until its old age and until it passed away. Lastly, hamster. We had a hamster called Tigger that was amazing. This hamster could climb for England. It had so much energy, running on its wheel, climbing in the cage. She was nice, or he was nice. I'm not quite sure what the gender of the hamster was, but I just remember it called Tigger, and it would climb all over the cage. So to wrap up, currently, the household doesn't actually own any animals at the moment. We don't own anything. But that's it. The animals I've owned, all the way from fish, rabbits, dogs, snakes, ferrets, and hamsters. Do you own any animals? If so, what are they, and what are your favourite things about owning your animal? Let me know in the comments. And with that being said, thank you for listening.